By now you probably know that I am in fact of Korean heritage. But what is Korea? Today I'm going to tell you a little history about Korea, mainly why it's split up into North and South, a little bit of good eating by Koreans, and a little bit of the Korean language. So if you looked at a globe and randomly looked at Eastern Asia, you would probably have noticed that Korea was split up into two separate nations, North and South. Well, you might be asking yourself, why are there two nations? Wouldn't it just be easier if it was one Korea? Well, the answer would be yes and no. You see, Korea was split up into two nations mainly because of governmental and religious arguments. Now, we all know how that goes, right? This side has one opinion, this side has another. Both try to take power, and the stronger one beats up the weaker one. Now, in this case, the stronger one would sadly be North Korea. North Korea had the idea of changing the entire peninsula into a communist community. Luckily, though, they only succeeded in getting half the country, thank God, with the Americans helping out on the south side. Today, North Korea is still a communist country, but South Korea is a republic. But now to get away from the sad and, serious bits of history, let's divert the subject, shall we? Koreans are very known for their amazing food that they make. Some you may already know, and some you may be a little surprised at. For instance, you might have heard of a spicy veggie dish called kimchi. Kimchi is made by getting cabbage and putting some chili pepper, hot sauce and stuff on it, and then fermenting it in a saltwater solution such as brine. And afterwards, people tend to put a little more flavor in it, putting in things like fish sauce and shrimp eyeballs. Now that sounds a little disgusting to you, I know, but it's actually pretty good, except for the shrimp eyeballs, because I haven't tasted it and I don't want to. But another personal favorite of mine is kalbi. Kalbi is a piece of barbecued meat that is actually a very recent addition in Korean tradition. Kalbi is made by marinating beef ribs in sauce, usually containing soy sauce, garlic, sugar, and hot sauce. It is then grilled or barbecued until slightly charred, leaving a greasy, tender, sweet and savory piece of steamed beef. Now, does that not sound good? I mean, seriously. It's amazing. I know, right? Now, the last dish I'm going to talk about is something you probably have not heard about. It's called bibimbap. Bibimbap in Korean literally translates to mixed rice, which is exactly what it is. Bibimbap is made by putting rice in a bowl and then adding things such as carrots, spinach, bean sprouts, roots, kimchi, cucumbers, mushrooms, radishes, eggs, beef, more kimchi, sesame oil, more kimchi, and sesame oil. See? Lots of sesame oil. Very important. And the final product comes out to be a huge bowl of lots of stuff put in that all adds up to one word. Wow. I'm serious. You guys don't believe me, but it's amazing. But Koreans are not only known for their food, they're also known for their very passionate spirits. Yes, Koreans are very passionate, including me. This is very well illustrated in their language. The Korean language, Hanguk, is a very simple yet very diverse way of speaking. Now, since Koreans are very passionate, we tend to be very loud. So if you were angry if somebody said something or did something wrong or bad, you would say, "너 모르다 정말 나쁘세요," which means everything about you is very, very bad. But Koreans are not, and you can tell that this is one of my very favorite phrases and one that I use very often, typically to my siblings. But Koreans are not always negative. We're also very loud and we're very happy. So if somebody did something good or helpful, you could say, "와, 당신은 너무 좋은 사람이다," which means, wow, everything about this is you are a very good and helpful person. is also very strict and specific on how to say things politely and casually. For instance, if you wanted to say hello to an adult, you would say 안녕하세요. But if you said it to a friend, you would simply say 안녕. If you want to say goodbye if someone was leaving but you're staying, you would say 안녕히 가세요. But if you said it when the opposite way, when you're leaving and they're staying, you would say 안녕히 계세요. And if you wanted to say thank you to an adult, you would say 감사합니다. But if you wanted to say it to a friend, you would say 고마워 or 고맙다. And that's basically all. 감사합니다 for listening to my speech. I really wanted to show you more about the depth of Korea, but if I had it my way, let's just say you'd be strapped to a plane with a 2-week tour coupon in your pocket. So, but alas, it wasn't meant to be. So, 안녕히 계세요.